Hi, my name is Kristin Jedamski, and I am interviewing with Epic Charter Schools for their You Teach SPED program. A little bit about my history is I graduated from the University of Central Oklahoma in 2009. I graduated with my Bachelor's of Business Administration. My major was Human Resources. I began my working career at Arvest Bank. I was a teller there. I was promoted to the Human Resource Department. My husband and I eventually moved to Bentonville, Arkansas, where I continued to work with Arvest Bank. I eventually went to work at JB Hunt Transport. It's a trucking company. That was a big change. I was the relocation coordinator for about 4 years before I became a small business franchise owner. The past 8.5 years, I've owned my own business called Riolanas of Broken Arrow. It's a children's consignment event, and I learned so much being a small business owner, and I'm currently pursuing a teaching career. So the two case studies that I studied, the first one is data-driven instruction. And the first thing that came to my mind when researching this topic was a popular saying by Dr. Phil. It goes, "The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior." Have you heard of this? It may be more applicable for a job interview or psychology versus instructional learning, but hopefully you get my point. Have you ever stopped to think about how to get that past behavior? How to gather it, how to analyze it, evaluate it, so you can informatively predict that future behavior? That is where data comes in, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Data-driven instruction is using information gathered from learning results to determine what comes next in instruction. The first step of data-driven instruction is to collect data. You can collect it many ways: formative with short quizzes, question and answering sessions. You can collect observational data by observing students taking notes. There's also summative for those end of unit exams that we are all too familiar with. Step 2 is to analyze your data. What is the data telling you? You can look for patterns, review notes taken. You need to decide what are the strengths of the individual and what are the needs, the opportunities the individual needs to work on. The third step is to make informed instructional decisions to determine what methods of teaching you will use. Maybe it's best to break out into small groups, or maybe it's best to teach the entire class all at once. Step 4 is to make that lesson plan, and the last step is to reflect or assess what you have taught. Data-driven instruction is an ongoing process. You can think of it like an ongoing cycle. As soon as you reflect and assess what you have taught, it's time to collect and analyze again. Data-driven instruction can be extremely useful. When teachers use data to drive their decisions and plans, they are able to respond to problems more effectively, construct new teaching methods, and advance skill sets faster. Current studies indicate that teachers in their schools with data-focused programs think using data improved instruction significantly. So, the next case study I'm going to talk about is differentiated instruction. I'm going to take a sip real fast. Differentiated instruction is adapting content, process, or product according to specific students' readiness, interest, and learning profile. Differentiation is a way of teaching. It's not a program. It's not a package of worksheets. It means giving students multiple options for taking in information. It encourages teachers to get to know their students, to build relationships, and to respond to their needs to maximize learning. There are 5 key principles of differentiated instruction. The first principle is an ongoing formative assessment. Teachers continually assess the individual's strengths and needs so they can meet students where they are and help them move forward. The next principle is recognizing diverse learners. Everyone thinks differently. Most students have different levels of expertise and experience in reading, writing, problem solving, thinking. And so recognizing those differences and assessing individuals accordingly enable teachers to develop differentiated lessons. The third principle is group work, allowing students to collaborate, to engage in meaningful discussions, and to learn from one another. The fourth principle is problem solving. The focus in these classrooms is on learning the concepts versus exactly what the book or the chapter uses. This encourages all students to explore big ideas and expand their understanding of key concepts when they are most ready. The last principle is choice. Teachers offer students choices in their learning experiences and assignments they complete. Negotiating with students can create a teacher-student relationship and create trust. It can create motivating assignments that meet students' diverse needs and interests. Differentiated instruction is important because it takes the students' learning needs and interest into account while teaching the key concepts. Students are more likely to have a vested interest in their own learning and therefore be more successful. So as you can see, both data-driven and differentiated instruction are valuable teaching methods. After learning about them, I'm ready to apply them to my own classroom. Thank you for listening to my case studies today. I look forward to meeting you and talking with you in the future.